Hi folks, welcome to Bird Dogs Afield Pro Talk, where we talk with the experts. Today we're going to interview a woman that I call the First Lady of Grouse Hunting, Ann Jandernoa. Ann is from northern Wisconsin and she is a bird dog trainer. She's a professional guide. She's a habitat specialist for the ruffed grouse. She knows ruffed grouse. We were out in Montana hunting, and on our way back to New England, we passed through northern Wisconsin. We had a chance to talk with Ann. Watch and enjoy.
Bird Dogs Afield, presented by Native Performance Dog Food, the official dog food of Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever, and brought to you in part by Irish Setter by Red Wing Legendary Performance, bred for sport and available at LL Bean, Orvis, Ugly Dog Hunting, or your favorite Irish Setter dealer. RST, manufacturer of short chamber low pressure shot shells. Mud River Dog Products, fundamentally changing the expectations of the hunter and dog enthusiast. And On Point Kennel, providing the finest in dog training equipment.
Hi folks, we're in northern Wisconsin. We're with the First Lady of Ruffed Grouse Hunting, Ann Jandernoa. Ann, welcome to Bird Dogs Afield.
Thank you.
Well, we're really excited. You know, Ann is a student of the ruffed grouse. She studies the habitat. She's a teacher. She teaches seminars and classes on ruffed grouse hunting and habitat, how to locate them. She's a dog trainer. And let's talk a little bit about habitat. Is there something we can take a look at?
Yeah, we've got a clear cut here, approximately between 14 and 16 years of age. We have one side that's really good, which is behind us. Then we have the other side that's actually opening up too much. We're getting too much sunlight. We're starting to get more weeds in, and the habitat is changing. So we can look at something that's aging out and something that is just barely, you know, just enough to hold them, but it's probably not prime.
Okay. Let's go take a look. Okay, Ann's going to cover a little grouse habitat here. Ann, what do we have?
Okay, we're in an aspen stand. We have a nice thick canopy over here, which is, of course, it's letting in a little bit of sunlight. And then what we have right here is when a stand opens up, you're going to have a change in the floor. And when you have a change in the floor, you have different vegetation that starts to become established. Now, when you think of grouse habitat, you're thinking of something that also is suitable for a hen to raise some chicks in. The chicks are going to be the size of a man's thumb, the weight of about 3 nickels. Think about it. You know, a chick can't go through really deep grass. What can they maneuver? And as soon as they're born, they go and they start heading to something with more dense cover. Reason why is it gives them protection from avian predators, and also typically you should have food on the floor, bugs, everything else for them to start, you know, utilizing. The problem with this cut is, as you can see, it's starting to open up. We're starting to get more sunlight in here. It's starting now to change over. When a cut changes over, you'll have raspberries right here that'll start to become more apparent. They're going to grow. But the one thing you'll notice on the change in the floor part, when you look at the floor, you're going to have more grass coming in, and you're going to have these right here, these big leaf asters. And what will happen, if you look around you, behind you, they're just starting to take over the floor. And so any small plant is going to be gone. Your bunchberries, your strawberries, those two plants are indicative of having a nice canopy that basically, if you have a good canopy, those two small plants will be there. If you have more of an open canopy, you're going to have the aster and you're going to have the raspberries. And then what's underneath for a little chick to utilize?
So the bunchberries and so forth, the small plants, they need that.
They need that. And, you know, it's not so much that they're, you know, they'll eat strawberry leaves and they'll eat that, but it's an indicator that we have a really nice canopy.
Good. Wonderful. Well, we have a big logging truck. We are in the North Woods, and we just had a big logging truck go by. Ann has a little bit of habitat here. Show us what you have, Ann.
Okay, we've got a fern here. It's small. It's not huge. And then we've got part of a bunchberry right here. When you're looking for habitat and you're looking to get into the prime habitat, look for the small plants. Look for small ferns, especially late in the season when all the green is gone and we've had multiple frosts. Many times they'll use these small ferns. It's like a salad to the birds. They like that. And then you might eat a little bit on these, but typically If we've had plenty of moisture, just the right amount, not too much, not too less, we'll have some bunch berries in there. They'll mess around with that. And then late in the season, those berries will turn a vibrant red. There'll be a cluster of 3 to maybe 5 right here. And those are indicators that you're in some really nice habitat.
Very good. And, you know, I've read in the past where ruffed grouse don't feed in the morning. In fact, I read a story a few years back where a fellow said every crop he's ever cut open in the morning had no food. You know, I think, I'm not sure about that. What's your opinion?
I can't say that I really agree with that either. Grouse do feed in the morning. I mean, look at us. We wake up hungry. What's the first place we head? The kitchen. And yes, they do feed. And one of the things you have to look at is when they feed in the morning. If it's hot, you know, say it's going to hit 75 by 12 or 1 o'clock, they're going to feed early. They're going to feed in that period of time when the dew comes off and then before it gets hot and, you know, hits that 68, 70 degree mark. They're going to run around, get their crop filled, and then they're going to sort of sit during the heat of the day, process a little bit, and then they'll go back out later on and feed. And, you know, we've noticed that, you know, how it is. You go out in the woods, your pant legs are all wet from all the dew and everything. You're soaking wet. And about the time all of a sudden it starts drying off, you start getting a flurry of activity. Those birds are moving around, they're feeding. And then there hits a point where it's like, okay, it's been a little while since we've had a flush. What's going on here? And at that point, the birds have started to get, they mostly got their crop full. But what's happening? The temperature's going up. We're the only ones out there running around, sweating profusely. The dog's tongue is hanging on the ground. And what happens then is that by then the bird's just sort of sitting. And he's sort of watching the whole parade go by. You know, here's Hunter, here's Dog, and, you know, and everyone's like, oh, you know, where's the crick and where's the vehicle so we can go back in? But the grouse is already fed. It senses the heat, it senses the change in the weather. They've been given that ability to adapt to the weather and meet their needs. And they're going to feed when it's the best suited for them.
Very good. Well, it all makes sense to me. And thanks so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bird Dogs Afield, presented by Native Performance Dog Food and brought to you in part by Irish Setter Legendary Boots, RST Shot Shells, Mud River Dog Products, and On Point Kennel.